Industry. I even want to know how to set up a generic industry or just a starter industry. So let's say let's start with the generic industry with just the yellow tab. You build your residential area. You build your commercial. Let me set this to green so I know what this is always on. You build a residential. You build a commercial, usually in the same area. Thank you for the sub as well. And you want to build your industrial next because you have demands for commercial. You use industry to fill those demands because you don't really need offices yet because you don't really have any highly educated people. Usually you have that after you reach a college. Once you put down a college, you can place offices or wait a while for schools to accept people. But first thing you want to do is place industry for early job work. You want to place this away from your residential. You can put it by commercial. It's fine. You might decrease happiness, but you'll definitely decrease happiness and increase pollution. Oh, there you go. So, to start up an industry, I'm going to generic industry, just your industry zoning. Keep this away from your residential at all times. I would say maybe, let's look at here from this distance. I'm gonna put a road down just so I can get an example. Place it about yay far away. About this far is a good distance from industry. You separate them by however you want. You can place trees around it. You can place like what I have here. This train can go around it. Always separate yellow and green. They can be next to blue. They don't care about... you could do this if you wanted to. Don't recommend doing this though, but you can do it. They don't mind being next to each other. Oh my goodness, I really hate those. But that's usually how you do generic zoning. Let's try to build like a small area. Just for the fun, I guess. It's actually connected to something so I can see them spawn. I'll erase them later, but let's build this here. So you built your industry away from your residential, which is good. Keep it about this distance away. You build it. Now, you can jazz it up by putting other things in here. Such as, like, you don't want to just be a regular boring old industry, which is not spawning because... Why? Why aren't you spawning? But you could do this. There it is. Okay, it spawns in. And now you can kind of spice it up. She gifted 5 subs. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I gave it all to people that actually come here. Canadian Moose, Quokka, Psycho, and she completed the goal as well. Thank you. Let's say you do industry. You can spice it up by putting your smaller industry buildings in here as well. So let's say, I don't know if you have this pack. This is the Sunset Harbor DLC. You can put your waste management in here, or if you have in the pumping service building, you can place that in here as well. They fit pretty well next to each other, and then you could just fill the area with industry. You could do that. One thing I'd also recommend is also putting a firehouse in here. Anyone that you have will work. One of these will work. Try to avoid, I would say, try to avoid putting police stations in there. They don't really belong in there, realistically. Same thing with hospitals, and same thing with, of course, schools. You don't want to put them in there. Always avoid that. But I would say this is a good start to putting industry stuff in your city. Start really small. Now, if you're going for non-generic industry, such as use one-ways, depending, it depends. One-ways are very useful in certain aspects of building. So say you did this. I would say you keep the outside roads as two-way roads. Have one-ways intertwined in it, and usually I would have it interchange directions, so one going forward and one going backwards. Usually I would do this. Oftentimes, well, really all the time, what I do, I'll make one large area and have one large one-way on just opposite ends. You can do that as well. So say For example, take your one-way roads and place them down. So place one-way roads and do this. You can do this. Just be smart about how the road comes back. You don't want the one-way road to do this. Try not to do that. Try to make it kind of come down toward this road at the same time. So kind of try to do this. Try to make them come together. You don't want them to split all the time. Keep the inside for industry, but keep the outside for just exiting. Again, keep it away from your residential. But kind of like this. I would do something like similar to this. One-ways are really useful, just because it keeps the flow of traffic in one direction. So you don't want cross traffic when trucks are trying to come into buildings. You never want that. That is a good point you brought up, and yeah, one-ways are very useful. Also, I mentioned before, always keep your generic industry next to the highway. And welcome back, Coolmaster, as well. Always keep your industry near a highway or a near point of fast travel. In this case, this is the reason I have my industry port up here, because I built a highway where they can travel to without causing traffic within your city. So, in this case, I have no industry in here because I use Industries DLC all the time. But keep your industry, usually I'd keep it away from your city, honestly. But always put it by a highway. It's a lot easier. And then you can have your roads connect into the highway, and then kind of ship everything outward, which is always good. They will go through residential, depending on your road layout. I could say this, road layouts, I tend to keep everything a little bit more realistic, go to realism. It does look good, but $90 is a lot. $50 for base game, $90 for regular, for the Ultimate Edition is a lot, but it's manageable. Now, for your roads, this is usually the way that it goes. So you have your suburban roads, which can be one ways, can be two ways, either way. So pretend this is your suburban road. These are called your local roads. The next road up is a collector road. Usually it can be a little bit larger road or a smaller road still, but it just collects all the roads coming into their city or coming into your town. Usually on your collector road is where you would find some of your shops. So say I want residential, and you always want to put residential on the side and commercial on the outside. Usually that's how it goes. Or you can make a cluster spot in your residential, somewhere like here. Have like your inside area be commercial. You can do something like this as well. Just have one spot of cluster and then everything else can be residential. You can do this as well. This way you can kind of control everything where your trucks go. So you know your trucks will just take this road to come here. They won't take any of these roads out here. Or the trucks will just pass on this road. They won't come in here at all. Something like that as well. Or your industry as well. Now, notice I did that over here as well. For certain spots, there's just a cluster of commercial buildings, which is just right here. So you know trucks will not enter your residential area through here or through here. They will always take this road from the highway. Well, this doesn't connect to the highway, so from this side from the highway. Same here. They will come down from the highway over here and just come into here, where there's a large commercial district over here. And you can see them deliver right there. They won't pass on these roads down here. Only your cars or police cars will. So kind of separate them like that. That helps a lot. You know, no trucks will come down here. There's no need. And there is one last form of road. I said local, collector, and arterial. Arterial is, think of it like a highway, but it's not really a highway. So in this case, my arterial road is this road right here. It is a road that kind of bypasses everything, while also having minimal connections to everything. The only thing it should connect to are your collector roads, which is in this case, this is one collector road, coming straight through collecting the roads. And your arterial road will come through. This might be classified as an arterial, to be honest, and this will be a collector. And your local roads on the inside. So arterial, collectors, and yeah, just go straight down. And beyond here, it can turn into a collector, but I think you understand the point from that. So Usually on arterial roads, you would have no zoning on these roads. I'm just using highway roads, so they have no zoning, but you can put zoning on these roads. Just be smart about where you place it. I try not to place it in a busy intersection. Try not to connect it. Try not to place commercial on arterial. Try not to do that. Yeah, 441 tiles. But the tiles, they did confirm the tiles will be smaller. Yeah. They're smaller than this game's tiles, which are pretty large. But 441 is still a lot. In terms of your other industrial, you have industries DLC, you have farming, forestry, or an oil. And mail, but mail is mail. Not really much to talk about that. I would say the things that you would want near your residential in terms of industry are your forestry and your farming. These do not mind being next to your residential at all because they leave off no pollution at all. Yeah, the trees don't give off any pollution because they're trees. Same thing with the farm. They don't care. So put those near each other. That's fine. Only thing you should worry about when placing these things together are the actual buildings that they come with, like the industry buildings. Like in this case, this is the slaughterhouse. It does give off pollution, so keep this away from your residential. Put it somewhere else, like further deep inside of your farming area. Same thing with the forestry. The forestry as well has a pulp mill, which makes a lot of pollution, so what I did here. Keep this away from your residential. Nothing will spawn here. I don't know why I have that there, but keep it away. But these can be next to houses. Oh, they're fine next to houses. They're trees. They don't do anything bad. Now, ore and oil, always keep away from your houses. They do give up a lot of pollution. No matter what, I believe. They're also rather loud as well. The other ones are quiet, but this one's really loud, so keep this away. I try to build this one, usually by a mountain or an area that's secluded. But there will be times where you can't really control that because of the area that it's zoned in. Where natural resources are found. But try to be a little fun with the ore industry. It's a little complicated to find a good spot for this, but usually by cliffside is fine. You can make your own. You can make your own in-ground, inlaid in the floor, which is what I did. And the oil, I never built yet, but keep it away from your residential as well. I was going to build it over here in the future, but they can be built together. Oil and ore, they can be put together as well. And farming and the tree farm and the plant farm, they can be near each other as well. I think that's how it goes for industry. And also, again, with usually all of these, try to have a highway nearby. Especially with farming. Try to have a highway nearby. In this case, there's an arterial road nearby, which is kind of like, it acts as a highway with higher speed roads. But yeah, just try to keep it near a road of fast travel or a road that doesn't have too many connections to other roads. Meaning like traffic lights or local roads. Try not to put them in local roads, especially. Well, you can put them in there, but just don't put too many roads where the trucks can pass because that'll cause a lot of problems. That's why you don't really see too many trucks passing in here. Only people that live here. Now, you only see trucks passing on the arterial because that's where I made them pass, but that's the best way I can explain it. And also, with these buildings, you can make them one way, but I don't think it's really necessary to make these one ways. The only things I would make one ways are the terminals. They go to other industry areas. They do. Also, I did forget one fact. Depending on what they make. So in this case, these make crops. I forgot to put the animal ones in, but the animal ones make meat. If you have industry, they can go to factories. So factories are where all of your materials will go to. So they take the highway to come to your larger hub, I guess, where you'd say the factory buildings. But yeah, that's That's also a major point of the Industries DLC. So you always want them to go to a factory of some sort, or a storehouse, or a warehouse of any kind as well. The best way to do that is actually train. Cargo train travel. They will deliver your stuff, like what they're doing here. They will always deliver things to train if they know it takes too long to get by car or vehicle. I'm not watching FNAF, I'm playing FNAF. I know everything about FNAF. I don't think I'll get jump scared once. I think I'll be fine. I think you'll be fine too. You don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, always use cargo trains. Because right here, the cargo train either to import or to transfer to different cargo terminals that you have throughout the city. I was ready for that. That you have throughout the city. So, and always connect them as well. So connect this one with your forestry one, which it does connect to. That way you can turn around, or maybe even go to your ore one, which I don't have because it's so close. But then you can have a large hub where your trains can connect to their cargo hubs or your warehouses. So cargo trains are very important. Like you can see here, there's not much traffic going through here because they're mostly going by train. Like here, trains already being used just to export things. Unlimited I am using unlimited resources just so I can get, yeah. Because I don't think the game would be fun if you didn't have, if you had limited resources. It'd be really unfun, and your resources would kind of run out fast if you have limited resources. So unlimited resources is always good to have. I think the game should have that naturally, to be honest. But yeah, I am gonna play. I don't think FNAF 1 doesn't have that bad jump scares, unless you're playing FNAF 4. Yeah, cargo trains are a necessity when you're building industry. So always have some kind of cargo nearby. Either in the area or kind of around the area. Anywhere nearby, it's fine. Also, pro tip, separate your cargo lines from your passenger lines. Intercity trains get intermingled a lot with your cargo. So you never want them together. It'll be really bad strain on your train traffic. But yeah, cargo trains, they're very useful. Like here, freight terminal, it came from here, and they're transferring goods to this terminal down here. They're taking away the use of trucks, driving all the way around, and just using the train. So always use trains when you can. You never want to use a nuke. Use a meteor and just destroy everything. That's also an option. That's the best way I can think about it. Connect your cargo with your trains. That way you don't have trucks. Yeah, so more trains equal. Okay, that one got me. I wasn't paying attention for that one. But more trains equal less trucks on the road. Less trains equal more trucks, which equals more traffic. And that's it. And to export as well. Make sure your trains connect outside. You're all just making noises now. Oh, that might get me when I'm playing FNAF. I might be sitting there in deep look and a random fart or a car horn will just come out of nowhere. Yeah, but that's the best thing I could think of in terms of industry. Reduce traffic, use trains when you can, like here. They all use trains all the time because... And also, separate them as much as you can for the trains to be used at their most advantage. If they're close, they will use trucks. If they're far apart, they will use trains. That's the best advice I can give you. Make them far away from each other. Not too far, but far enough. Far enough to where the trains will actually be used. The AI will kick in.